And so, Minnie, what is your great unlearning?
My great unlearning is that I owe no one a performance nor an explanation.
I felt that. That was so good. Okay, let's roll this episode. Welcome to the UnLearners podcast.
The UnLearners. Learn, change,
And I think if you take one courageous step at a time, it's going to be such a the UnLearners. Learn, change, grow. Hi there, Unlearner. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of the UnLearners podcast. It is a pleasure to have you here, taking a chunk of your day to be in our presence, to be having this conversation, but also to be in the space of other unlearners. Because as you stream this podcast, as you watch it, as you listen, there are so many other unlearners across the globe who are doing the exact same thing. So you're a part of a community of people who want to join in on this conversation. So welcome. Today's guest is someone who, she's already giving me the side eye because she's a bit of a character and I love it. So today's guest is none other than the amazing Ms. Minnie Ntuli, or Minenhle Ntuli, and she is a broadcaster but also a television personality, someone who has built her career in the most foundational way. And I think she's really going to unpack what that means for us. But she's had a sense of self-centeredness that I have watched and just been so amazed by. So I'm really excited to have this conversation. Minnie, welcome to the UnLearners podcast.
Thank you. This is so unreal.
Right?
This is awesome. So proud of you. This is amazing. The whole team, in fact.
Thank you. Yes, because there are people out that you don't see, guys, that are doing so much work. Yeah. But thank you for being here. Honestly, it's amazing. And you and I were having a conversation offline as well, just about how you have had to unlearn fitting into that box of who people said, no, Minnie, don't do that. No, you're too loud. No, don't, no, just stay over there and everything will be fine. So let's talk about how things began. So take me all the way back to who Minnie was right in the beginning, maybe even before you and I met. Who was that lady?
Oh, man.
Or that girl even?
Yes, a girl. Definitely a girl.
Mm-hmm.
Happy. A big dreamer. I remember the first time I ever remember being asked,
Mm-hmm.
And all I remember is closing my eyes and all I saw was a huge audience.
Oh.
It's dark and the lights are on and I'm on this big stage. And all I remember that it had to do with people. And I said, I am going to be a singer.
Mm.
And I'm going to talk while I'm singing. I remember my cousin, she was way older than me. She looked at me going, so you're going to talk and sing? I'm like, yeah. Want to talk and sing. She reminded me this a couple of years ago. And I was like, oh my word, I remember that. I don't remember the answer, but I remembered what I saw when I closed my eyes. Because she was like, you closed your eyes.
Oh my God. I just got goosebumps.
Closed my eyes. And I look forward to the moment where I see that again. That's what she was. Happy. Big family.
Yes.
Happy, loud. I didn't see a lot of things that were wrong or were not good for my childhood, only up until I was old and go, I was not meant to see that.
Okay.
Oh, that was not meant to happen. Oh, that was wrong.
Mm.
Dads don't do that. Moms don't do that. Siblings don't do that to each other. No, but I didn't realize that because I was so happy as a child.
Oh my goodness.
I was so happy.
So how often do you still close your eyes?
Oh, wow. I haven't closed my eyes in a while. Because I think Sengibe consumed so much by what's going on around me. And that's when I know I actually need to pause, take a break and be still. And lately I've been asked to be still. So I haven't closed my eyes in a while. Ever since I came back to KZN actually. But when I was in Joburg, I was closing my eyes quite a few times. Yes. Constantly closing my eyes. I was like, I don't know what's going on. I need to close my eyes. I need to see it. I feel off balance. I need to see it. What's going on? Talk to me, God. Where are we going? What's going on?
Yeah.
So it's when I'm trying to get centered.
Yeah.
But for now, I feel like, when a machine, when things come together and it goes,
yes.
That's what I feel like is happening right now.
Uh-huh.
So that's why I think I'm not closing my eyes yet, because I'm going with the flow.
Yeah.
I'm going with the flow. So yeah, I haven't closed my eyes in a while.
Oh, that's beautiful. You know what you're making me think of? You're making me think of the idea of whether or not we create ourselves or we find ourselves.
Ooh.
That for me has always been such a big debate. And often when asked that question, I always go, I feel like there's a combination of both.
Uh-huh.
I feel like there's a version of you that you need to find that somehow already exists. And it's that version that you see when you close your eyes as a little child.
Yes.
I mean, you've got very little idea
Yeah.
of what the world is.
Yeah.
But there's just something that is already, it's like it's pre-packed. I don't, you know?
Yes,
But then there's also a creation element to it
absolutely.
that couples beautifully with that, with what is already there. And when I think about that story you've just shared, it makes me think about that, how there was an element of almost destiny. But then along with that was, what do I do about it now? Because unlearning is about intentionality and action as well,
absolutely. Because I strongly believe when Zanele would say, we come into this world and surely God has a plan. But because he's a God of free will, okay, so he's not going to force you and go, hey, you have to marry Will Smith. Hint, hint, wink, wink. What is married now? Maybe Trevor now. Hello, Trevor. You know, but he's not going to, this is your soulmate. Everything else is then up to you. You go, hey, I do have a plan for you. Now your job is to just work your way into purpose. Now, how do you work your way into purpose? I find what I've learned, you have to decide, oh, this is who my future Minnie is. And how do I walk into her? How do I walk into divine femininity? Because that's power in itself.
Sure.
Because I need to walk into that to become who the ultimate Minnie is. You know? So to walk into that, I need to create her. So I have to wake up and choose to be her. So even in circumstances, someone is trying me. And you are trying me. Before I retaliate, what would future Minnie do?
I like that.
How is she going to respond to this? Until it becomes embedded in me and all of a sudden I actually am her. I now don't have to reference her in third person. Singu yen.
Yeah.
You know. So I think that's something I've learned. That you practice to be that person until you become the person.
Yes, I love it. So I want to talk now about that journey of, was there a certain instance or an experience that had you going, no, it's time to shift the gears. It's time to do something differently. But before I invite you to do that, when you were speaking, you've reminded me of just how important it is to flip that whole script. Because when we think about our success, or we think about our growth and our unlearning journeys, we think we need to have, do, and then be. We think we need to have the things, do the things that person does, and then we will be.
Oh, gosh.
But what you've just shown, and I'm getting goosebumps now, but what you've just shown, or what you are speaking about, it sounds like, is that you almost need to just become. Yeah. And then you will do the things because you are. And when you are, you do, right? Yes. When you are that person, then you do the things that person will do. And then, you know, you can have the things that person has.
And it attracts.
It does.
Things. They just come to you. Like, there's no need to fight for it anymore. There's no need to be in a room and have to prove yourself, you know, and go, hey, I am here. No, darling. As you walk in, they will feel you.
They will know you are there.
They will be eager to go, hey, Suzanne, tell me about you. They are attracted to you. Whenever I understand, it's not something, it's not of this world, it's not of this earth, but it's because of who you were always meant to be, and you just decided to be that person, and you're walking into that person. So they feel the presence. They're just feeling the presence. So there's no need for a performance. And I think all my life, I thought I had to show up. It was the pressure, people knowing, oh my word, but Minnie, squaz unjena, you like this, you meant to do this, you meant to, normally then you would do this. Oh, you're going to start this and you're going to lead it. I don't have a voice. I don't want to. I've got a gig later. I want to save my voice. No, there's so much that people will demand from you. And sometimes it's okay to go no. And I don't have to explain my no. I do not have to explain my no to you.
Yeah.
Because the minute I have to see that I have to explain my no to you, I know you're not ready for the answer. You're going to feel it as an attack.
Yes.
and I'm not ready
Mm-hmm.
to now deal with now your brokenness. No.
Which is what we were talking about just now, right? Offline. Is that sometimes, yes, I know I'm interrupting the episode, but it's just to let you know that if you're enjoying this, you are going to love our weekly newsletter. So every single week, I'm sending you tips, tools, insights to help you on your unlearning journey, but also I'm sending you updates about events, our various courses that are also going to support you as you learn, change, and grow. Okay, now, finally, let's get back to the episode. That sometimes people are not ready to hold space for your unlearning because they're not ready. So maybe let's not go there because that's another podcast for another day. So tell me about that moment, that pivotal unlearning moment where you went, okay, I think I need to start putting serious work into this new version of myself. Was there a certain instance that drove that transformation? Talk to me about that.
Sanel, I think it happens when I find myself acting out of character.
Mm-hmm.
When I act out of who future Minnie is. And it has happened many times in many instances. And it's always got to do with a third person, because that's when you get tested into, are you now the person you always say you are? Have you arrived? It's when now I have to interact with Zanele. And Zanele sometimes has maybe overstepped her boundaries. Or maybe I have said something out of turn, and am I able to apologize? Mm-hmm. Or am I able to say, Zanele, whoa, these are my boundaries, and you don't talk to me like that. You know, I'll go back to the first time it ever happened. We were in Idols, and I got in a little tip with someone, and I realized I had to stop and look back when I was in my room, and I could have stopped at that point, and at that point, right? And that was one of the big defining moments that that's when I could have stopped that. Mm-hmm. Then it moves again, and years later, I get in a little tip with someone else in another radio station I was working at, and I go, oh, I could have stopped it at that point, and at that point, and at that point. Mm-hmm. But I didn't, because the Minnie that person knew was going to be a bit more like, oh my gosh, like it was going to give you a shock. So I felt sorry for you that I can't stop it or say, hey, I think we're headed for disaster, you know. And even in another previous radio station, it always got to do with when I could have just said no, I could have said nothing.
Yes.
When I act out of character is when I realize, oh, I've grown, or oh, here's something I still need to work on. Because you cannot let any other individual be in control of your emotions. It is the biggest weakness, especially in the workplace, even in love affairs, even in family debacles, and anything. If you hand over your emotions to someone else, honey, there's still a lot of work for you to do. So that's how I always say, like, oh my God, I'm so weak. I'm so weak, there's a lot to do. And you calm down. And it's like, okay, restart.
Beautiful. I love it. And it's those moments that really just get you to check in and remind yourself just how human you are, but also that you're on a journey.
Yes, and be kind
and
to
it
yourself.
Never exactly.
Be patient.
You never
I
get
was
there.
the hardest person on myself, and I always I used to even set my alarms and go, "Yeah, when I fuck, while you still sleeping, girl, stop wasting my time." That is so mean. Would you be friends with someone that wakes you up like that or talks to you like that? No, you wouldn't. So now my alarm is, my queen, wake up.
Oh, anytime. I'll wake up for that any day.
Yes, and it is, the money is waiting for you. Yes. You are amazing. The world needs to experience that. Please wake up. Please don't snooze me again, my queen. Like, I had to be kind to myself because no one else was going to do it for me.
Yes.
I'm not going to be friends with someone who's mean, so why would I want to be friends with myself if I'm not friends with myself and being nice to me? So I had to be nice to myself first and treat myself like the queen I am and go, hey, queen, wake up. Congratulations, you've made it to the new day.
Okay, maybe let's expand on that then. Who is Minnie now? You can even speak to this version that you are becoming still, or maybe just who you are now that you've challenged that perspective, but also understanding that there's still so much more to unlearn going forward. But who is Minnie now?
Minnie now is calm. Minnie now is allowing herself to love unconditionally. And I will love you even if you're not ready to love me. And I will give it to you anyway. I won't wait for you to treat me a certain way for
Yeah.
me to give you what I think you deserve.
Mm-hmm.
Minnie now is trying to fix everything, and that's what I'm trying to unlearn. Still. That I don't have to, I'm not God, I can't unfix it because it's in my blood. I'm trying to, okay, wait, there's something wrong with you. Yeah, come, let's talk about it. Come, let's talk about it. No, it's not your job. But I have to accept.
Yes.
that, okay, I'm trying to be a fixer. I'm not a fixer. I'm trying to be. Want to walk away going, hey, so why do you think you do that? And and Minnie now is trying to learn in every space that she's in.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, and she's learning. Minnie now is learning. She's learning. I think I'd walk in a space always just trying to perform.
Yes.
Here I am. But sometimes you just need to be still and take in what you need to take in. And that's what I'm doing. I'm now learning.
Oh, yes. You see, I love these conversations because short, sharp, beautiful leaves you with a beautiful taste in your mouth, but also leaves you just going, yeah, it's okay.
It's
It's fine.
Like, let it go. You know, at some point, when I had to sit back and think, why do I act the way I act when I'm in a relationship? And then I had to stop and think and go, oh, it went back to what I saw as a child. I'm like, oh, my dad did that. And now I'm expecting this person to do this. And that is unfair to expect someone else's son that I just met to become my dad. Or when they do mistakes that are triggering me about things that I didn't realize I didn't like that my dad did. And then I just boil down on you. Why did you do this? Why did you say this? No. Let's talk about it. Why do you act like that? You know, what makes you think this is okay? Like, walk me through it. Sometimes you're not doing it out of malicious intention. It's just how you think the world is. And that's how isn't to happen. They look shilako, no mangagini, that's how you grew up in your community. This is normal. So I had to unlearn just going, hey. I had to just stop and go, hey, if I want to become a better lover, I also need to start here and go, how can I love you better? How can I love you better for the sake of me?
Yeah.
Me.
And the freedom that comes with that is impeccable.
Honey.
Beautiful.
Yeah, once Kala and oh, and you're thinking, where is he? What's that? And now you're just like, it's like, no, why do you have a problem with where he is? Why are you so insecure about what he told you? Why don't you trust it?
Sure. Yeah.
Why? And then you go, oh, I'm insecure about A, B, C, D.
Yeah.
And in your 20s, darling, love is rocking. So you need to do a lot of self-introspection while you're growing up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things we're trying to unlearn and learn at the same time. We have to become chief multitaskers.
Yeah.
You are forced. You are forced. You're forced.
I love
And
it.
we'll do it one step at a time. We make mistakes, then we have to unlearn them and learn new ways and just be kind to yourself.
Yes. I can see the Minnie who is learning, and I love her. And I can't wait to see all of the amazing things that she's going to do in the future and all of the people she will continue to impact, because I already know the lives that you touch already. And I hope you remind yourself of that enough, that everywhere you go, I mean, you're in the public eye constantly, but just knowing that there are people on the other side there who are closing their eyes and dreaming about who they could be, that they get to hear your voice and know that that means something. So thank you. This beautiful gift over here is actually for you.
It's not
to say, no, it's actually not. It's yours to say thank you for sharing your journey today about how you don't have to force yourself into a situation, but sometimes you can stand in a quiet strength. But it's something we need to unlearn, because we get taught that you need to assert yourself very strongly in a situation in order to make an impact. But you somehow managed to do that in a way that shows that you come into spaces and you just learn and you open yourself up. So thank you for joining us today. It's been a pleasure having you here.
Thank you. This is a love language, gifts.
Really?
Hey, how you doing? It's my love language. It's a love language, so I appreciate this so much.
Oh, you are most welcome. This has been an amazing episode, guys. I hope that you've enjoyed it just as much as I did as fellow unlearners on this journey of just always letting go and grabbing hold and understanding that the person you are today is not necessarily the person you're going to show up as tomorrow, but give yourself the grace to show up differently. It's been myself, Zanele Njapa, the Unlearning Lady on the UnLearners podcast, and we will see you on the next episode. Bye for now.
The UnLearners. Learn, change, grow.
Learn. I think when you take one courageous step at a time, it's going to be such a change. Learn, change, grow.